All right, these two are a little bit more difficult just because you have an a value in front of the x squared, and you are not allowed to have that. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is focus just on the two variables like we did before. All right, and so I'm going to factor out the -1, but I'm only going to factor it out of the two variables that have something that I'm going to use for completing the square. I'm still going to take -8 and push it off to the side here and just hold on to it. So my factoring, instead of factoring out the GCF from all three terms, I'm only going to do it from the x's because I need to hold on to that 8 for another purpose. So now when I go through here and I say I want to take half of this term and square it, when I say that I'm adding 9 inside of those parentheses, I'm not really adding 9 to the actual equation, because this number on the outside affects what I just wrote here. So this set of parentheses right here, normally, like if I just said to distribute, you wouldn't end up writing -9 when you distribute, you'd be writing a -9. So what I need you to do is that when you complete the square, I need you to take whatever your a value is and multiply it first times what you just wrote down before you write down something over here. All right. So this is a -9, and so that's what I'm going to have to do is instead of, a -9, sorry, I need to add 9 because I need its opposite. So I need you to think about, if I take -1 times 9, that's really what I have sitting in here. And so I need to do the opposite to counter the balance. All right. So if it's a minus, instead of subtracting, I need to add it. All right, but you have to think about that number and think about what that value really is before you figure out the balance. All right. So when you complete the square, the -1 is still on the outside, then my binomial square, and now these two values still create my k value. So now remember, when you make your in-out table, this a value is just going to affect the outputs. All right, so you're going to have to use that -1 before you start dealing with k's. All right, so let's do the same thing for number 16. So same thing. Focus just on those two. And factor out the 2. Same thing, give yourself some space. And take this entire term the way it is and just shift it off to the side. You'll use it later. So for this number right here, you're going to cut it in half and then square it. So I'm really writing +1 on the inside of my parentheses. But again, you got to remember that value-wise, it's not 1. Value-wise right now is a +2. So if I really just added value of +2 over here, I need to subtract 2. So I got to do the opposite when I get ready to write down its balance. So your vertex form, the 2 stays where it's at, the binomial square, and again, this is going to create my k.